Visitors have expressed enthusiastic admiration for the dramatic transformation of Ethiopia's capital, particularly praising its modern infrastructure and expanding green initiatives.
Here in Addis is very beautiful compared with last year in January. I'm impressed. I can tell you that everything looks nicer, more beautiful, elegant, and civilized.
The first time I came was 10 years ago, and I saw a lot of construction work being started or underway. Yesterday I saw at night that it was just shining. A lot of new buildings, huge buildings, state-of-the-art infrastructure, and the cleanliness of the place is just amazing.
I was here in Ethiopia in 2014 as a staff of the Mauritius Embassy, and coming back here is an immense pleasure because I see a lot of changes, a lot of infrastructural changes, and it's a new city, and I feel it's delightful being in Addis. We feel at home.
Infrastructures are developed, hotels are developed, and tourism is developed. So this is an example for other countries such as Sahelian countries where I'm coming from to follow.
It's really how I imagined the future of my country and a lot of African countries back then, and it's been made real by Addis. So congratulations to all Ethiopians on such great achievements.
Global visitors praise infrastructure development in Addis Ababa. Özlem Adıyaman Lopez, Senior Program Manager at UNESCO, praised both the hospitality of the residents and the city's growing global stature.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very modern city, it's a well-developed city, and the roads, buildings and infrastructure, I think it's the diplomatic capital of Africa. And we can see that it's extremely well developed. It's a very big prosperity going on, and I'm really happy to be here and to see that.
Addis is one of the central countries of Africa. It's obviously where the Africa Union headquarters are. It's where a lot of the United Nations efforts and investments are taking place. So for the religious communities to also be, let's say, surrounding this particular context is obviously very influential, at least has the potential to be extremely influential.
Development, I think, because having here African Union and UN present, so it's a multicultural city. You have international community very prosperly living here, so that could be example for other African cities as well, I guess. And we have this big hub airport, so Bole Airport is the hub for Africa. It's welcoming everybody. It's a great place.
And it has been an incredible experience. I am amazed at the development that's taking place here. We were at a jazz club last night, and it was absolutely amazing. To be partaking in your culture, your heritage, and learning. It was just an incredible blessing to us. Thank you for welcoming us.
This is, I think it's well promoted already. It is, I think promotion is there and it's well developed. I mean, I am a big fan of Ethiopia. Addis Ababa, I always wanted to come. I think people will come more and more with time because we are going out of the COVID, big changes. I think with time there will be lots of tourism coming here.
For Sustainable Development, co-hosted by the Ministry of Tourism and UNESCO, explored way to boost tourism potentials. Speaking to ENA, Özlem Adiyaman Lopez,
I promote
UNESCO Senior
and
Program
I help
Manager,
UNESCO member
emphasized the
states for the
transformative
development of a concept called UNESCO Global Geopark. So this is one of UNESCO designation. So UNESCO designate the important sites. These could be historical sites, this could be natural sites. And UNESCO recognize the work done by the country in the sites for the promotion, for the education, and for the protection of these important sites. And we have several World Heritage, Biosphere Reserves, and geoparks. So geopark is the most recent designation of UNESCO. UNESCO recognizes that the site is promoted, and there is an educational activities in the sites, and this is also the conservation activities. So I'm here to explain Ethiopian community and Eastern African community, how this could benefit Ethiopia and how this could benefit local citizens there.
Natural, historical, and cultural sites, and acknowledges countries' work in education, conservation,
I think in Africa
and
it's
promotion.
just new. It's only 10 years we have this in Europe at UNESCO. So it was initiated by the people. It was initiated by academics and local people, and that's why we call it bottom up. And that's why in Europe it developed by people. And then Asia took that model, governments really helped. So it is really governmental high level in Asia. And last 10 years we were promoting globally European model and Asian model. And it's just a question of time. And now that's why this is our 5th event. So we did already events in Botswana, Namibia, South Africa, Kenya. We are promoting it. I think the real challenge for Africa is national park concept is well established. So tourists come Africa for national sites, natural sites, to observe the safaris, national sites. And it is not clear how the communities actually can contribute to that. Ethiopia is the center origin of humanity.
Ethiopia
so
offers a rich tapestry of cultural and natural assets, encompassing indigenous knowledge systems, religious practices, and varied landscapes. She emphasized,
recognitions.
Ethiopia is the origin of humanity, so we have deep culture.
So this is the origin of the
cultural
world.
heritage is immense, so we have high number of well-tied recognitions.
So history of Earth here, geologically.
So the culture is very rich here. Nature is very rich.
We have indigenous communities,
this is the
local
origin of the world, how the world
rituals,
is.
different religious activities. So in Ethiopia we have everything together, and UNESCO can recognize what we have here, and then that can bring these sites to global scale that whole world can recognize.
Registration, with Morocco and Tanzania being notable exceptions. She also emphasized Ethiopia's distinct advantage due to its
In
wealth
Ethiopia, you have 10-20 sites that could be geopark tomorrow. So Fomar, for example, Fomar is a site. It's UNESCO World Heritage tentative list for cultural heritage. So UNESCO, Ethiopian government submitted that dossier because cultural heritage component of this cave is very important. But this cave is a natural heritage. So this is the longest cave in Africa. But it's this connection. So how we connect the caves geology, caves natural aspect, with people's cultural heritage there. So most known concept is the cultural heritage. That's why this site is nominated as a cultural heritage site, because of the religious aspect.
Faith Leaders Conference aimed at accelerating development, peace building underway in Addis Ababa. A conference whose purpose is for faithful communities in Africa to work in partnership with all stakeholders, including the AU, to accelerate development, peace building, and to build key relationship is underway in Addis Ababa. In his opening speech, President Tay Atzik Selassie expressed the necessity for more empowerment of religious organizations to achieve lasting peace and progress in Africa. According to the president, faith-based organizations are already at the forefront of humanitarian aid, conflict
Interfaith
resolution,
dialogue is
and
not merely a moral imperative, it is a practical force for progress. When religious leaders unite in advocating for the common good of mankind, they certainly amplify our collective voice and mobilize grassroots actions. This is indeed a lived experience of Ethiopia. Faith-based organizations are already at the forefront of humanitarian aid, conflict resolution, and in some instances, in democratic dispensations, which in turn contributes to the key pillars of the sustainable development as stipulated under the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and the AU Agenda 2063.
democratic dispensation, which in turn contributes to the key pillars of sustainable development as stipulated at the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and
Ethiopia's
AU Agenda
spiritual
2063.
heritage teaches
Africa
us
faces global
the
geostrategic
centrality of
shifts, requiring
humanity
renewed commitment
and
to address emerging
coexistence.
challenges.
Yet, like many countries, we have faced conflicts rooted in poverty, lack of development, and progress. Today, we are charting a new path through Ethiopia's national dialogue process. Through this mechanism, we recognize the urgent need to embrace dialogue over discord over dissension, and compassion over callosity or heartlessness.
Yusuf said the African Union aims to promote religious freedom and equality in its pursuit of peace and development. Interreligious Council of Ethiopia Secretary-General,
the Interreligious Council of Ethiopia actively working in the promoting peaceful coexistence, interfaith harmony, and cooperation, mutual respect, preservation of the long-standing moral values, religion, ethics, environmental protection, social development, and promoting human dignity based on the teaching of the Golden Rule, which says treat others the way you want to be treated.
To fostering cooperation among faiths for peace and development, while promoting love and harmony. United Religions Initiative, URO, for Africa Regional Director, Ambassador Musi Hailu, emphasized the role of religious organizations
as the G20 aims to address critical global challenges with a focus on inclusive economic growth, food security, sustainable development, and climate action. The 2 days conference we are having will help to bring together the voice and commitment of the African religious leaders, traditional leaders, faith-based and interfaith organizations, along with other stakeholders, with common position to advance this year's theme and to make practical recommendations that will help to bring meaningful change in the people's life.
Made in Ethiopia movement enables over 830 industries to resume operation. More than 830 industries that had ceased production due to various reasons have resumed operation after the Made in Ethiopia movement in Ethiopia, according to Ministry of Industry. Industry State Minister Terken Bulota said that a range of measures are being taken to enhance the sector's contribution to the national economy. The current contribution of the sector to the gross domestic product, GDP, stands at less than 6.8%, but concerted efforts are being exerted to boost this to 17.2%, he said.
በቁጥር ወደ 830 የሚጠጉ አምራች ኢንዱስትሪዎች በተለያየ ችግር ምርት ለአጭር ጊዜ ማቆመው የነበረ በተለያየ ምክንያትም ተዘግተው የነበሩ ኢንዱስትሪዎች ተመልሰው ተከፍተው ወደ ስራ ገብተዋል። ኤክስፖርት ውስጥም የገቡ ኢንዱስትሪዎች አሉ። ድሬዳዋ አካባቢ የነበሩ ኢንዱስትሪዎች ከግብዓት አቅርቦት፣ ከፋይናንስ አቅርቦት፣ በተለይ ከኃይል መቆራረጥ በቂ ኃይል ካለማግኘት የተነሳ ከመብራት ኃይል ጋር ከሚመለከተው አካላት ጋር ተቀናይተን በመስራት ኢንዱስትሪዎች ምርታማ እንዲሆኑ ያሉትም ምርታቸው እንዲጨምር ተጨማሪ የሰው ኃይል እንዲቀጥሩ ከማድረግ አኳያ የተሻለ ስራ እየተሰራ ነው።
Textile and garment industries receive sufficient cotton supply, he added. The revitalization of industries is also making a notable contribution in terms of foreign exchange savings through import substitution and generating export revenue, it was learned. The industries are collectively creating 235,000 jobs annually. The state minister revealed that the production capacity of industries has jumped from 46% to 61.2%. The ministry is actively monitoring and supporting industries to ensure that their products are competitive in the global market. It enables over 830 industries to resume operation. More than 830 industries that had ceased production due to various reasons have resumed operation after the Made in Ethiopia movement in Ethiopia, according to Ministry of Industry. Industry State Minister Terken Bulota said that a range of measures are being taken to enhance the sector's contribution to the national economy. The current contribution of the sector to the gross domestic product, GDP, stands at less than 6.8%, but concerted efforts are being exerted to boost this to 17.2%, he said. As a result, many industries that had been non-operational for various reasons have resumed operations, significantly contributing to job creation and foreign exchange earnings. The state minister explained that industries in Dire Dawa city administration which had stopped production due to challenges related to finance, inputs, and electricity supply have begun operation following the support provided by the ministry and stakeholders. The initiative launched to encourage food processing industries that utilize agricultural products as inputs to produce value-added goods is also yielding encouraging results. According to Terken, extensive works have been carried out on input supply in order to improve the productivity of industries. Coordinated efforts have in particular been made to ensure textile and garment industries receive sufficient cotton supply, he added. The revitalization of industries is also making a notable contribution in terms of foreign exchange savings through import substitution and generating export revenue, it was learned. The industries are collectively creating 235,000 jobs annually. The state minister revealed that the production capacity
Ethiopian industrial parks impress regional ILO conference, delegates, participants of the 20th International Labor Organization, ILO Regional Conference for Labor-Based Practitioners, have lauded Ethiopia's industrial parks and development programs, citing them as commendable models for job creation and inclusive growth.
It's the second time in Ethiopia, but it's this seminar. In 2005, I be here, but the development is not like this. Now things are really changed. We understand that the government are putting more effort, and we can appreciate what we saw today. And we are happy for that. We are happy to visit all these companies who are providing for the workers, school, those facility for those workers is a new initiative we can go back with. It's something appreciable.
Ethiopian government for the strides in terms of the socio-economic impact that they are making through the development that has been ongoing here in the country. It's absolutely amazing. The industrial park, well, it is quite amazing to see that in one of your economic zones you have 7,000 people employed in the textile industry, which is quite impressive, and one have to say congratulations. And then also the working conditions generally is quite good. The people that are working there, the people that are employed, and then also the overall look of the site, and also the size, and also the fact that you are looking at further expansion and bringing in public-private partnerships, which is also a very good take on this matter. And then also when we come into the construction site, government owned, this is amazing.
To me, that is very much impressive, and I think it attracts most of the people to come and work for the factory. But again, also we asked about how you attract these investors to come and to work in Ethiopia. We are told about how the government subsidizes the utilities, water, electricity, and even the wastewater and the other telecoms. I think that is a good approach.
It's very amazing. First, I see a lot of builds, a lot of big infrastructure. Now I see how is the organization here. Very, very amazing. So I need to see and to understand and to take this lesson to Madagascar.
The International Labour Organization, ILO, has commended Ethiopia for its leadership in driving sustainable and inclusive employment policies across Africa. Mito Tsukamoto, chief of the ILO's Department of Employment, Development and Investment, praised Ethiopia for successfully hosting the 20th ILO Regional Conference for Labor-Based Practitioners under the theme, Resilient Communities and Healthy Environment, the Employment-Intensive Investment Program EIIP approach.
Africa faces challenges like the issues of informality and also high youth population. Obviously, by bringing in the different vulnerable populations, not youth, of course, but women, youth, and disabled persons, but also all the other vulnerable people. And being able to provide them a job which gives them dignity and also income that would also create these local multipliers in their communities is extremely important. And I think that very much fits in this framework of the 20th Regional Labor-Based Conference, where we're talking about resilient communities. How can we build resilient communities? In Africa, even though you face challenges, there's many opportunities to be able to find opportunities for decent work.
She applauded Ethiopia's outstanding organization of the conference, which she said provided a critical platform for policymakers to shape inclusive.
Employment-intensive investment program and its approaches really does this at the country level. We really work with local communities and to demonstrate how these programs can bring inclusive wealth, but also assets that are very much needed in local communities. The EIP program has been around for 55 years. It was founded in the 1970s. So it's a program that has been well tested and well piloted. And it's a program where we are doing these kinds of South-South events. And we very much appreciate the Ethiopian government for hosting us at this 20th event. And it's extremely important because it brings all the 25 plus ministers who are here also to look at how best they can guide us in terms of making policy decisions that will help the African continent.
Inclusive employment strategies. She also reaffirmed the ILO's ongoing support in fostering sustainable job creation throughout Africa.
We are looking at employment-intensive investment programs. I mean, the solutions is looking at the existing public and private investments in different countries or in the region. A lot of these investments right now are being invested in capital-intensive approaches, oftentimes with foreign direct exchange issues. And actually, if you focus on a local resource-based approach like the one which is the employment-intensive investment approach, it really allows you to capitalize on local workers, on local resources, local materials, so that you're actually creating this local multiplier, not only in the community, but then those, the multipliers are being created in the economy. So then the growth becomes one that's not just jobless growth, but really an inclusive growth approach, which would be very beneficial, I think, to Africa.